It's your friend Russell K. We are live on Shin. And we got Biker. How are you?
Karen with us. Karen, how are you? Karen? Hey, Karen?
I think we got Karen now. Are you with us, Karen?
I think we got Karen now. Are you with us,
Yes,
Karen?
I'm here.
Awesome. Well, all right, Karen, how you doing today? You doing okay?
I'm good, Russell. How are you?
I am doing great. We are live on location, and it looks like we got a pretty cool party going down up in Murrells Inlet. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. We are at Fire to Table in Myrtles Inlet, South Carolina with Jenny and Ray, owners of Fire to Table. We have a benefit today for the veterans, and I'm sitting here with Jenny and Ray right now if you'd like to talk to them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've always loved to talk to the owners because you know what? If the interview doesn't go well, we're going to be fired to the table. How you folks doing out there today? You doing okay?
Great.
We're doing good.
Well, first and foremost, welcome to Music Dreams USA Radio, our live broadcast on iHeartRadio. It's great to have you. And let's start the interview. Can you maybe tell our listeners who are watching now, and maybe we'll be watching a little bit later on, can you tell them a little bit about your venue, what you guys do, and you know, first and foremost, thank you for holding the event today and supporting veterans. I think that's something that's pretty important to you. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, both sides of our family have all served, and you know we hold that very dear to us.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And you know, so tell us about your venue. I mean, how long you guys been around, and what are some of the events you guys do?
We purchased the venue in October 2023, and one of the things we realized very quickly that live entertainment is very important down here, and we embraced that very quickly, and we were able to make really good relationships with a lot of the local talent down here, which is there's so many. You know what I mean? It's almost hard to choose from it. I mean, daily I have people walking in here, seeing if we have open dates. They want to play here. You know, we're blessed with a 300-year-old oak that overlays our stage. So when you come in, the layout's really cool. We have a very large deck covered by a 300-year-old protected oak tree. And then there's a stage right there. And we have an outdoor bar that serves just about any drink you can possibly think of. And we just added a slushy machine, which we're pretty excited about as well.
Well, you know, you're making me really thirsty right now. My boss stuck me in the studios here, so you're making me like really, really thirsty. I'm gonna come down and get me a drink.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I hear you. So I heard you say that you know you get bands on a regular basis. So it sounds like you guys are getting overloaded with requests. How do you choose a band, and how do you know if that band's a good fit for your venue?
Well, this is my wife and I's first venture into hospitality. You know, I was in finance for a very long time, and so at first we were just scrambling to just take whoever. I bought it in October. Usually, most of these bands are booked out a year and a half advance. That's how popular live music is in Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. So, you know, in that I was lucky that some of these bands actually, you know, came to us and we heard about these bands. We reached out to them. We created very, very good relationships with them. You know, like for example, PBR, who's playing tonight, who's one of my favorite bands, you know, and Biker Babe has helped us out quite a bit as well as putting this thing together as well. And so at the end of the day, you know, like even if I have a band for some reason who can't show up, somebody gets sick, somebody gets called away, You know, I can call Biker Babe, or I can call, like, just the other week, PBR. I was like, guys, I need you. They were like, he made phone calls, got the band together. They came here, and they were able to put together a beautiful event for a beautiful night of live music for us.
Do you guys also support DJs? Maybe have DJs come in between the sets? That's something our radio station did last week. We actually did the music, and we actually DJ'd MC the event. Is that something you guys would do as well, or what does that look like?
Well, considering my son DJ Baba Ganoush plays a lot of venues down here, we are very supportive. I was even fancying the fact that I might even start DJs from 10 o'clock on and do an open live dance situation here.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. And I had an opportunity because Karen and I met yesterday. I had an opportunity to check out your website and check out your venue, and I'll tell you what, that's a beautiful place. And that's one thing I love about the Carolinas. We have 2 studios, one up in New York, and we just came down here recently. And if there's anything that Music Dreams USA Radio could do for you as a member of iHeartRadio, we'd love to work with you as well. Now, with that being said, do you have any upcoming events that maybe you want to tell our listeners about, that are maybe going to be happening up here in the near future?
Well, we've done a lot with Habitat for Humanity, Georgetown. We try to raise a lot of money for them. We did a charity. We didn't host, but we hosted the venue for a breast cancer event recently, where the guys at Leverage Roofing, who we've become very close with, had a huge golf outing, and then they brought 250 people over here, and we catered it, and we donated a lot of food and time for that as well. And and then today, the veterans event, where we're going to be raising money for the VFW Merle's Inlet Post, because they need a new roof. They're really trying to put a new roof on that place.
Wow. That's awesome.
And
And so let me ask you this. It sounds like you have a relationship with many different vendors. And how cool would it be for maybe a vendor watching right now, and maybe we'll come up to the venue and say, you know what, we're going to put that roof on for free. I mean, we've seen that happen so many times on our shows, where we've interviewed amazing professionals just like yourself. And, a story I can share with you. About a year ago, we were doing a live interview up in our New York studios. And there's a family that their house actually burnt down. And it wasn't by their fault. It was just an electrical, something happened with the electrical, and they actually just burned down the house. And there was actually a person that actually built homes actually was watching the interview. He actually reached out to our station, and we actually surprised that person. That person had no idea that we were going to rebuild a house for them. So I kind of see where you guys are going with that. And again, one thing that's really, we've only been here live with iHeartRadio maybe about a month now. And one thing I've noticed very quickly is the bars. Last week and then this week with the bars. I mean, the bars are very supportive of the community and the bands. I mean, especially with COVID hit, and obviously people think, well, hey, COVID happened so long ago. But the reality of that is COVID is still here, believe it or not, and it's caused a very a big effect, not only on companies but on bands and entertainment. What is your take on that statement?
Well, fortunately for me, I came out of New Jersey, which shut down, for close to a year, and the great state of South Carolina decided that they weren't going to get involved in that, and kept the businesses open, kept the hospitality going, kept the live music going. And that was one of the things that I actually, when I looked at where we were going to move to when we left New Jersey, we were really taken with that, the freedom that you have here in the state of South Carolina. More importantly, COVID wiped out a lot of small businesses, wiped out a lot of families who relied on this. And, I'm just grateful that I was able to make the move, make the change into the hospitality business after the devastation that COVID caused.
Yeah, I mean, especially with what you folks do. I mean, people always got to eat, right? And then they're also gonna be looking for a place to go. And another thing I noticed last weekend too, and actually this weekend as well, is that live music is really coming back now, and it is something that's really needed. And one thing that we like to do is if there's a good band out there, we like to try to get them the exposure, just kind of like what you folks are doing as well. Give those bands the exposure that they need, and hopefully they can come across someone who sees how talented they are and in your venue as well. So I can definitely see that happening. So as we're live here, is there anything you'd like to share with our audience?
Sure. We post all of our live music and events on our Facebook page, which is Fire to Table. But I'd like to give a real big shout out to Vic at Myrtle Live, who who at who at the end of the day, like he has his own career, but he's so in love with music and promoting live music that he selfishly posts every single day who's playing, where they're playing, and he does it for free.
Wow. That's awesome. Is there anyone else you'd like to give a shout out? I mean, we're live on here, so go for it.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. Karen came to us and asked us for this, which is, an amazing opportunity to get the word out about the restaurant, the live music, and everything. She's been amazing, helping us out, getting bands, getting people out there, and I know for a fact that she's out quite a bit, just following live music and getting live music out there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Well, let me ask you this, and not to put you on the spot, but if there's any areas of opportunity for getting live music out there in more and making people more aware that live music is there, what would that opportunity be in your professional opinion?
Well, yeah, iHeartRadio.
Yes, that's right. And we're on board. Yeah, you can say that right. I mean, that was perfect. I didn't even give you a cheat sheet for that one. But yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And it's kind of funny you say that because I'll be honest with you, live on the air. Last weekend when we did that live remote, I walked away, and I'm not kidding. When I tell you that I had chills up and down my spine, I had chills up and down my spine. And Monday, when my boss came back into the office, we had a very long conversation, and I told him, I said, it's been a while since we've promoted some live music. And that last weekend, I kind of he asked me about the event, how did it go, and what kind of feedback, and blah blah blah. And after that, even my boss was on board saying, you know what, you might have a point there. iHeartRadio has got to get more involved, and not just iHeartRadio, but the local radio stations in that area. And I actually encouraged them during last week's live remote. If you're a promoter, if you're a venue, if you have anything to do with music, it's an opportunity for everyone, not just selected few, but it's an opportunity for everyone to work together to make that dream come true. And so, yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Is there anything else you'd like to add on to that?
Yeah, we would love to host you guys if you ever want to do a live here. It would be amazing. We'd be more than happy to have you. And just to everybody out there listening, like, go support these guys. These guys aren't making a living off of this. They do it because they love to play and the passion for music. And I got news for you. Most of these people should be signed with major labels because, like, it's like PBR, Rebellion, yeah, Matt Parker, Highway 17. Jason Ray Welsh. This is a guy who was a wounded veteran who has had multiple health issues and still gets up every week and just chases his passion for music.
Well, again, you must be looking at. Well, you're from New Jersey. I'm from New York. We're like buddies already, right? We're like neighbors.
Yeah.
But I'm going to share something with you live on the air, and my boss has actually given me permission to say this. So, Kara doesn't even know this, but she's about to know it right now. I did not tell her, and then I was waiting for this interview, and since this interview is here and about Music Dreams USA Radio and iHeart Radio station, we work with a record label called Blue Shamrock Music. And it's a record label, and they support artists all over the world. And on our Artist Spotlight show, we do live interviews every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We've already spoken to Blue Shamrock Music, and we are now going to be starting to look for bands and to sign them and help them to get not only get their name out there, but get their music out as well. And so if you had an opportunity, look up Blue Shamrock Music and Stephen Brady. And you can also go to our YouTube channel and you can look at all of the interviews we've done. So one of the commitments that you mentioned just a few months ago, well, iHeartRadio, what can iHeartRadio do to help to promote live music? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do more live radio remotes, and we're also going to do live more of these live artist spotlight shows. And if we come across a band, we feel like they have a lot of talent, they feel like they deserve the opportunity. We're going to forward it over to Blue Shamrock Music, and then let Steven take it over from there. So that's what we're going to do. And again, yeah. So thank you for asking that. And we're here. We're not just here for bands and all that. We're also here for venues like yourself. If there's anything we can do to help you, our motto is like, if we're broadcasting live in that community, just like your amazing venue, we want to be a part of it. We want to be able to help communities. You mentioned earlier in the interview, right, about small businesses, right? Let's be honest, right? A lot of small businesses don't have a lot of money. They don't. It's the reality of it. However, though, we can work with anyone, and we're going to do that. So, yeah, awesome. So,
Hey, can I just add one thing? I don't mean to interrupt. Can I add one thing too?
Yeah, please.
You got to understand the thing about the Grand Strand. The Grand Strand, we make our money within 9 weeks during the season.
Right.
So it's the locals that show up for us in the off season. It's the locals that keep the lights on. It's the locals that keep coming here over and over again to spend their money, watch live music, and support it. And I can't be more grateful for that.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you're in the Myrtle Beach area and in Myrtle's Inlet location. And you're right. It's only you guys only make your money during the season. Once the season's over, it's slow. I mean, that's the reality of it. So let me ask you this: during the time of your peak season, other than what you're doing right now, do you have any other plans and maybe some other things you maybe go out and try to explore?
I'm sorry, I missed that last part of it.
So during the peak season, are there any other opportunities that maybe you might maybe you want to try to explore this year?
Yeah, we're gonna hold another charity event. I'm working on a date and the bands for that as well. For the veterans' tiny houses, we have a group here, and the guys who are involved in that come here and eat quite a bit. And I wanted to do something specifically only for them. And I wanted to get a veterans event under my belt because the next one we want to do big, real big. These are people who are building small houses for veterans that are homeless. And, it's the amount of, is, and I don't mean to get political, but with all the money flowing out of this country, every single veteran should be housed, fed, and taken care of for the rest of their life.
You just gave me chills by hearing you say that, and I can agree with you more. I mean, we need to wake up as a nation. We need to wake up and look at that. And what can we do differently? What are the areas of opportunity? And how can we do exactly what you're saying, take care of the people? Another thing for me is the homeless people, where, it just breaks my heart. I travel a lot, and, as you drive down and wherever you are, you just see people on the street corner, not by choice, but by unfortunate situations. And, that's another thing. And I couldn't agree with you more. Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, the homeless situation's that's a whole nother issue in itself. I mean, we have a group that live around here that we try to help out as much as we possibly can too. I mean, I've been blessed. My wife and I have been blessed. We have healthy children. We've had a very good life. I had a very good career before this where we did very, very well. And this is a passion of ours. And we've done a lifetime of just giving back, because the fact is that we didn't
give it away to keep it.
Yeah, you got to give it away to keep it.
Right. Since you guys are professional, professionals in this business, one question I always wanted to ask, and let's ask it now, since we're talking about this. One thing I don't understand is with restaurants, right? You make all that food, and at the end of the night, you have leftover food, and there's billions and billions of food that's thrown away. And is there something that the restaurants can do to maybe, instead of throwing that food away, to maybe donate that food to like the shelters so they can feed these people? I mean, is that reality? Is that something that can be done? Or help me understand why that happens.
There's laws against handing out some of that, so you got to be careful. we really need to get to the legislators and our state representatives and our local representatives to where we can do a collective where, we can start giving some of this away. Food that's still very edible, very good, and even if it's like we donate it to a shelter where somebody can come pick it up, make sure it's at temp, make sure all these different things. But I understand why those rules and regulations are in place for the community and for the population in a whole. But I much rather give my that's still very edible and very much in a situation where it can be consumed to somebody can do it instead of them throwing it out and them having to jump into some kind of scenario where they're digging it out of, you know what I mean? A dumpster.
Right on. Yeah, definitely. And as we wind down our interview, first and foremost, so nice to meet you. And yes, we'll take you up on that invitation. We'll definitely come down there and support you for sure. So as we wind down this interview, again, special thank you to you for taking time out. I know you guys are probably super busy right now. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with our audience?
Just thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank you for the time that you've given me today to get our word out, to help our cause here. If there's anybody out there that would like to help put this roof on, I'd be super grateful for that. And we're just going to continue to try to, we're new.
Those who took care of us.
Yeah, we're new in this community. We're only going to be here about a year and a half, and we're really trying to make inroads. And anybody that's out there, Habitat for Humanity in Georgetown really needs help. And not only out there knocking in nails, they really need help with money. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money to build a house. It's a lot of money to put, there's people that work there that take pay cuts so they can make sure that house is built. And I know that for a fact. You know what I mean? So, there's a lot of different things that could be. There's a lot of veterans, the charities that you can give to. There's a lot of different help. I mean, there's so many. So find something you're passionate about and get involved. Not just, it's easy to write a check. It's a lot harder to get out there and put your feet to the grindstone.
Yeah, before we bring this interview to a close, a few things that really stood out to me during your interview. I heard you say during the interview, there's a lot of people that work for free. And I know a lot of people think, well, I don't work for free, but in these types of situations, why not? I mean, can you imagine if we all worked together and didn't worry about the bottom dollar sign, that we all work together to come to promote a cause and to reach out to help people. I mean, my motive has always been, money's going to come. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be a week from now, but who cares about the money? It's not about the money. It's about helping people who are at times of need. And I've heard you say that throughout this interview. So I want to personally tip my hat to you and your wife and what you guys are doing. I just wish that we had more owners just like yourself out there who had, you got the right frame of mind. You've had a successful career and you got a great family. Maybe a lot of people don't have that, but you know what though? I tip my hat to you and thank you for sharing everything you did on this interview. And I mean, that's one thing I love about these interviews. You meet amazing people just like yourself. Anything else you'd like to add for us?
You got anything?
Come in and see us.
Come on and see us, especially today. Let's raise some money for these guys.
Yes. I will definitely, I promise you, live on the air, I promise you, I'm going to come and see you and we're going to sit down together. We're going to help you. That's my promise you live on the air. And we're going to keep that promise and we're going to help you. I promise you that. And it's always nice to meet you and, much success in your business as you continue to grow. As you mentioned, you've only been in the area about a year and a half now. And so, definitely wish you all the best. And thank you for what you do for the communities. And until the next time, God bless you guys. And it's good to talk to you.
God bless you. And thanks, Karen, for making this opportunity happen for us.
Absolutely. I want to thank Jenny and Ray for this interview. I appreciate y'all coming in and doing this. This is Fire to Table out at Myrtles Inlet, South Carolina. Come on out, guys. Help raise some money today. We're here until 10 o'clock tonight. And we got to get to the next band. So we are going to have to come back in a little bit later with you guys. All right.
It sounds good. And Karen, before we let you go, is there anything you'd like to share with our audience before we end this live broadcast?
Not right now. I'm going to go down and get to the next band, and I'm going to talk to you on the next interview.
All right. Sounds good. All right. That's our friend Karen with Barker Babe, a barber. She's live on location and with Fire at the Table. So, I mean, Fire at the Table. What a great place that is. And we'll definitely check it out.
Down there.
And we'll be back with another live report here. It's your friend Russell K coming live from our Carolina studios with Music Dreams USA Radio and iHeart Radio station. And when we return, we have another live remote broadcast for you. Stay with us on Music Dreams USA Radio.